Hi everyone. So today I'm with Adil and Yatin, who are the co-founders of Shortlisted, and we're going to talk together about how hiring processes are a bit broken today and how AI can actually fix it. Thank you so much for joining me today for a very, I think, hot topic, actually, we can say. When AI touches about people topic, it's always a bit tricky. So you've both spent years actually in or around recruitment, people management, etc. So what is a word to describe like the hiring landscape in 2025? But I understand from you that they're, I would say, challenging or broken will be the right word.
Yeah, I would say like chaotic
Chaotic
in my
is even
mind,
worse, okay.
because what I feel is that sometimes there's like easy apply and
Yes.
other stuff where like it's so easy for candidates to just click and apply. People don't put that much effort. Back in the day, we had to put so much effort, and that's what kind of made our profiles somewhat unique as well. Now, one-click applies are going to kind of are changing the landscape altogether. So I feel like it's becoming chaotic for recruiters as well.
Yeah.
How many profiles can they
Yeah, of
sift
course.
through, right? So it's more chaotic, and what I feel is Shortlisted will help streamline that chaos into a much more manageable situation, I guess.
So maybe if we go into because you're talking about both recruiters and job seekers as well, let's start with recruiters. What are the key pain points today? Because obviously, and you're saying, let's say you post a job on LinkedIn. When I was looking for a consultant before, sometimes I was receiving like literally thousands of applications. And within the applications, I had like chefs, people who had never worked into my field, like because people were just applying to a number of jobs. Yeah. So it is a big challenge as a recruiter. Can you tell us a bit more about the key pain points they're facing?
Well, Yatin talked about chaos. I'd like to say it's completely broken, and recruiters are having a really hard time, at least the users and the people that we talk to.
Yeah.
They are spending their time doing a lot of administrative work. 80% of a recruiter's time is just doing admin.
80%?
80%.
Oh, wow.
Not just reviewing applicants and applicants that potentially are not a match, but also the whole work around posting jobs, reviewing applications, and screening candidates. So
yeah, because we tend to think most of the time of a recruiter will be meeting with candidates, but it's actually
only 20% actually is relationship building, strategy, building talent pools, and so. The day of a recruiter at the moment is really, really tough. They get swamped by thousands of applications, most of them irrelevant. They're spending a lot of time talking to people that may not have the skills, and therefore it's really, really tough. In addition to that, you have a situation where applicants not only have access to tools like Easy Apply, but they also have access to agentic AI tools that allow them to auto-apply to thousands or maybe hundreds of jobs, really, and that really compounds the problem. So it's really, really tough for recruiters at the moment.
Actually, in what you're saying, AI is creating even new problems, right? Because if you're saying if you have agents actually like applying for jobs, if you use AI to write your CVs, etc., in this case, AI is not fixing anything, right? Adding to the problem.
It's compounding the problem because you have the Easy Apply plus AI generated CVs, and that creates too much noise, and it's impossible to go through the noise. Not only you have as a recruiter a lot of volume, thousands of applicants, but when 70% of those applicants are using AI to generate CVs.
Yeah, you just don't know who is applying, right?
Absolutely, because all of the CVs have been generated by AI to fit the job description. So they all have the right job, keywords, they all have the right words, they all have the right signals.
Yeah.
And it's only when recruiters go on a screening call with the candidates that within the first few minutes, they realize that, the person that was on the CV is completely different from the person they're talking to.
Yeah.
So it's really a huge problem. And if you add to that the fact that a lot of hiring teams don't necessarily always have the right tools. I mean, some of them operate with Excel spreadsheets, Outlook, mailboxes, and maybe a LinkedIn recruiter license, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So it's really, really, really tough.
And it makes, I guess, the job seeker experience as well even more complicated because it means slower process because you get more CVs, very difficult, like to handle the number of applications. So then people who are actually looking for the job, they'll have a bad experience.
Yeah.
And so now if we put ourselves into the shoes of the job seeker, how would you describe the experience right now?
The experience is pretty bad. Most job seekers are getting ghosted. And the reason for that is partly because of what I've said just earlier, which is that what a lot of recruitment teams do is because they don't have the time to go through hundreds or thousands of applicants. Some of them, I heard at least, might just take the first 300.
Of course. I mean, that's what I was doing.
Exactly. And then if there's 5 or 6 worth speaking to, they'll speak to them.
Yeah.
And if not, they'll go to the next 200 and they'll pick out 5 or 6 and then they'll go to the next 200. And so that's why most applicants never hear back from their applications, just because literally it's not an ATS screening them because they don't have the right keywords. It's just because recruitment teams don't have time and they just...
no tools, to do this.
And don't have the tools, and so therefore they just completely ignore almost these applications.
Yeah. So, it makes it actually very, very tricky. But right now, what are the solutions on the market? So then we'll talk a bit about what you're developing and what's your vision. But like right now, we're talking a lot about keywords. So if I receive 5,000 applications for a job that I just posted, what tools can I use to screen them? Because, I mean, the key challenge is that, first of all, you need tools and time to get to read the CVs. But as you're saying, they usually don't represent the personality and the skill set of the people that I'm going to hire.
Absolutely.
So right now, what is available for me as a recruiter?
Look, I'm so glad you asked this question because this is exactly one of the first questions that we've had to answer, and we've taken a different approach from a lot of participants in the market. If you look at most HR tech startups today, 80% of them are building a CV screener.
Yes, of course.
And the one thing we haven't built, or we've shortlisted.io, is a CV screener.
Because the CVs are fake, right?
Because the CVs are fake. And what's the point of screening a CV that's been generated by AI with AI? Of course, the CV will have the right keyword and the right stuff. So, so what we are doing instead is using conversations in order to qualify candidates. And so, when you ask me what tools there are, or what can recruiters do today, is possibly move away from inbound CV applications.
Okay.
And either what we see is prioritize outbound.
Okay. So looking for a profile,
looking and headhunting, reaching out to a profile that matches. Or if you are still intent on doing inbound, do it, but don't qualify based on a CV, qualify based on conversation. It's a lot more difficult for a candidate to fake their experience on a conversation than it is on a CV that they can spend days crafting even with AI. So these are the tools that we see, or at least the techniques that recruiters are using to, to overcome this challenge.
But then is it still about keywords? Because LinkedIn, let's talk about maybe here, at least from the market that I know, here or in Europe, or if you know some other, I mean, I guess LinkedIn is one of the key tools, right? Where you put your experience, etc. So it looks like a CV, you just have more information on it. So is it going to still be when you look for a candidate on LinkedIn, you still do keyword matching? Or not much?
And that's the thing, yes, you do.
So it can still be pure bullshit, right?
Exactly. And this is a problem, actually.
So that is one of the key, okay.
But it is also a problem because you're doing keyword matching. You're not using AI to do or to use the capabilities of AI.
Yeah.
We, for example, when we do headhunting, we use semantic matching.
Yeah.
What it means is we don't use keywords, we use context.
Yes.
We can infer that a CTO has leadership skills because he's managed 20 people without him having to state that he's got leadership skills on his CV.
Very interesting.
So even with that, AI allows you to be a lot more creative. And I'm sure Yatin can tell you more about some of the stuff that he's done for us to be able to.
Yeah, because the process of recruitment, maybe let's look at it like step by step. We are talking about first the screening, and then we'll have interviews, etc. Where do you see AI having most of the impact, or what are the key pain points we can already solve with AI?
Yep. So from the perspective of, I would say the recruitment process kind of starts from getting a requirement at the
in the company,
level, right? So once you get a requirement, by the time you kind of tell the recruiter what you're looking for, so you have to go through a certain channel, right? And what happens is every time you go through one person or the other, it keeps on getting muddled. So you don't end up having exactly say I'm looking for a Python engineer, and I know exactly what I want him to do. I know I want him to operate Jupyter notebooks very well. I want him to be completely focused on and more skilled in the areas that I'm looking for, and that is somewhat only known to me.
Yes.
So what happens is they say, okay, I'm looking for a Python expert, and the recruiter understands that it's just a Python keyword, and then what happens is we get candidates who are maybe not exactly what the hiring manager was looking for. And that's where the mismatch kind of starts at the beginning. So even the job description that gets created, it's by the recruiter. And then you have, again, like misinformation there. So even before the process for the job seeker even starts, you already have some kind of a dynamic that has kind of led to let's say, a big gap in what you're actually looking for and what you're getting. And that is what we kind of figured out from the company perspective, that you need to kind of put this, use AI to kind of capture the requirements much more better.
Okay.
Because what happens is sometimes for me, AI would mean different. For you, AI would mean different, right? So I can express myself in a better way to an AI because it sometimes would understand things a little better. So that is where we felt that's where we start from. That's our starting point. We create the job description according to that. Based on that, we kind of go through the next steps and post the job. Then the job seeker process starts, where we find the job seekers. We understand what the hiring manager is looking for, and we go ahead and find those people, reach out to them, and then the whole process starts where we ask, okay, well, what's your CV? What's your current experience?
So you reach out. You said you post the job. You think it should be, you finding candidates for the job you have, or you publishing the job and waiting for people to hear about you?
No, so we find the candidates, because once you publish it, it's a madhouse.
We go back to the discussion. Okay,
it's a madhouse. And
we believe inbound is dead.
Okay.
Yes,
inbound is inbound recruiting. So I was talking to a client the other day. They are getting 45,000 applications a year.
Oh gosh,
a team of 2.
Yeah,
I mean, how can you
We're just
review?
humans.
and maybe we just Excel maybe and something like that. So how can you review 45,000 applications a year, just the 2 of you?
Yeah.
And don't forget, something is the fear of a recruiter. So the job of a recruiter is not just to find great talent, but actually the greatest fear of a recruiter is to miss great talent.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's really, if you talk to every recruiter out there, they will tell you their fear is that, out of these 45, they might have hired the wrong people.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Because maybe there's this gem of a talent
that they just miss.
Hidden in there, and they just missed due to the volume.
Yeah.
So now we believe that, inbound is dead. You cannot really make a difference between signal and noise. And so therefore we've built our platform to be more outbound and headhunting. Traditionally, headhunting is a very time-consuming activity. You need to be sometimes years building your desk, building your network of people within the technologies. And that's why recruitment agencies charge 20-30% of someone's salary, because they're monetizing that years of investment they've made. But actually what we've built, and to answer your question about how can AI help, is we've built a tool that allows anyone, or at least hiring teams, to go to hundreds of millions of profiles using semantic search and headhunt like if they've known this market for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And the AI will surface the best profile. It will tell you why they are the best, and it will reach out. It will create a personalized reach out message that will allow you to build a connection with that candidate.
Yeah.
So that is where we think AI will help, is to automate the 80%
admin work
that recruiters are currently spending time on.
So then we have, you were saying, basically building the job description, looking for talents. What about the
now
next steps?
Now from the job seeker perspective, it becomes much more robust, because now as a job seeker, you see a invite, you directly go to the page, you upload your resume and or your LinkedIn profiles, and once you are done with that, you directly get on a call with an agent. So the AI directly understands what you are looking for. So what we're trying to do is make both parties happy in a way where right now what's happening is no one is hearing what candidate want, what kind of job candidate is looking for, what kind of job the company is looking for. So if we hear both sides, the AI basically helps us match them in a much better way and rate them in a much more suitable way. Because if they don't end up, if no one hears your side, then it's just like you're just hitting a dart in the dark, right?
Yeah, of course. And so then it means on the interview part, you see less pain points, and you think most of the pain points are actually the admin you were mentioning? So before the moment you have a short list of candidates, or do you still think AI should be there in the rest of the process? So interviewing the candidate, following up, etc.
Absolutely. I mean, interviewing is a big one.
Because I think that's the tricky discussion is around, do I want to be interviewed by an AI? This is where many questions actually come up.
And it's a huge point. And just to come back to Yatin's point, it's for us, to answer your question, for us, it's not AI versus human.
Yes.
It's AI versus being ghosted. It's AI versus having to fill a workday form for 2 hours. It's AI versus applying and never hearing back from your application. So we've actually done research on this. We would say at the moment it's about 50-50.
Okay.
50% of people are really open, and they are open to being interviewed by an AI. 50% are not so open. But actually, we think that by improving the recruiter experience, we can improve in the candidate experience.
Yeah.
And if I come back to the 80% problem, which is 80% of the admin time that recruiters do, it would take, to give you an example, if the average application receives 250 CVs, if the average job receives 250 applications, and you would need some time to review those CVs and pick out 20 in the shortlist.
Yeah.
If you spend 45 minutes screening each of them, it would take you 2 to 3 weeks to screen these people. AI can do it in a day, in 2 days. So it's not so much AI versus not AI. Is allowing recruiters to talk to everyone and allow everyone, or at least as many people as possible, to present themselves. And actually, you'd be surprised. Some people are really. We have clients using our tool, and some candidates are really grateful because they were even happy to talk to an AI, because otherwise
they don't talk to anyone.
They don't talk to anyone. Yeah. So they are like, at least, thank you for giving us the chance to, or giving me the chance to showcase my skills.
Yeah,
and that's what we're building.
Okay, and I want to come back to the outbound. You say you're looking for candidates. Let's say we can talk about your solution or any solution, but where we see AI having an impact. When you look for candidates, we were discussing that before starting, we think about LinkedIn. So I guess many people would put their activities on LinkedIn. They would put as many, like the right titles of job, which is a big topic here, plus a lot of content, experience, articles, whatever. But what about all the... I think it's worth talking about this, all the other information we have online, a public Facebook profile, a public Instagram profile, any publication we have from our previous lives in magazines and in newspapers, etc. All of this is, I think it's worth saying that if you want to be recruited, the bots or the AI are actually going to screen whatever exists on your profile on the internet, right?
Yeah.
So do you see that as is it something you need to warn people about? Are people conscious about this? Because it's changing a bit the rules. You're not saying, okay, I'm going to share my CV, I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to say, okay, how do I want to write my CV? Now, if you don't have the power to sugarcoat or, to write your CV the way you want, actually, we have access to everything you published during your life on the internet, right?
So unfortunately, I have some bad news.
It's the case.
And no, it is because it's already there. I mean, I can't warn anyone because if you go on ChatGPT or even Perplexity, type your name.
Yeah, of course.
And say, what can you tell me about Margot? Tell me everything.
Yeah.
You know, how is she? Have a look at her social media profile. And from her post, tell me what kind of person she is. What does she like?
Yeah.
And it's already there.
But are you comfortable with this? The reason why I'm asking, I'm challenging you.
Yes, please.
But it's more because, it should be okay to be, obviously you want to hire someone who is aligned with your values, the company values, etc. Reality is you may have weird hobbies in your personal life, but still be super good at your job. Yeah. So if we blur the line, don't you think there is an issue in this? There is no right answer.
Yeah, there is no right answer, I would say as well, because the problem is the part of your life that is online is always going to be used in some way or the other, not always by recruitment companies, but mostly just because it's online.
Yes.
Anyone can access it. Yeah. So you publicly chose to put that out there, right? So that kind of will always have an impact. But not so much in recruitment. What happens kind of is for us, we kind of make sure that it's more professionally centered conversations rather than picking out, okay, this is what you said on your LinkedIn post. Yeah. Why did you say that? Or maybe like just putting blame on someone or just like picking out that post. Yeah. So that's not something that should ideally happen within the recruitment premises. Yeah. Apart from that, while judging candidates, obviously it could be used in some
it is
sense.
Already the case because you can always check for online about.
That's why background verification kind of happens, right? So background verification, what do you think they're checking? They're checking your companies that you worked for. They're checking your posts. They're checking everything.
If they find you on Instagram. But the reason why I'm saying that is, for example, at least in Europe, let's say, you can't ask. There are certain questions you cannot ask. You cannot ask. For example, you cannot ask me if I have children. You cannot ask me about my political views. You cannot ask me this type of questions. But the thing is, if the model is fed with this information, it means it's actually, is it going to be used? Does it mean that the future AI platform is going to take that into account in recruitment? Or we still need to sort of unbiased, as you said, center the discussion around professional, but at the same time, the model is going to be fed with a lot of personal information if you have a lot online? It's going to be the challenge, right?
It's a huge challenge at the moment. In fact, this whole thing around bias and fairness is making a lot of waves in the US, especially. Yeah. They introduced the EU introduced the EU Safety Act, and then the US in NYC introduced Law 44, and in California they also introduced another AI law. And there's a huge case at the moment called the Mobley versus Workday case. Where a candidate is suing Workday, not the company that he applied to, claiming that the Workday AI system was, basically biased and unfair. Why? Because Workday uses a system that's across companies. So if you apply to one company and if you apply to another, it keeps the same information, and the same algorithm kind of applies. Yeah. And so therefore, what he's claiming is that it's not the company that's, guilty of bias. It's the system itself.
Of course.
And because he applied to so many different jobs at so many different companies and they all rejected him. And this is actually a landmark law because generally when you are a service provider or software provider, you're not responsible. If you use Google to search how to conduct certain criminal activities, Google will never be held liable. This is what's called the agency law. Yeah. But in this case, they use this agency law to claim that potentially Workday could be liable. So it's a huge thing at the moment, and it's kind of a bit of a gray area. And I think laws will evolve to protect people and people's privacies, and I think we will see more and more ethical, fair use AI rules. It's a huge problem, but it's not a problem in recruitment. And at the moment, it's really, it depends on how you develop the AI. We are developing AI that is not looking at gender, political views, past online history, or anything like that. So really, there is a responsibility with vendors to adopt fair AI use policies. We have ethical use policies, fair use policies.
Yeah.
We understand some of these challenges. So therefore, we've designed systems that don't use some of that data.
But as a job seeker, you don't know what the recruiter is using, right? So.
And there are many solutions out there that
Do not,
use whatever for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's already there. And as I said, if you go on ChatGPT and Google,
of course.
type your name, it'll come up with all sorts of information.
Yeah, it's always the same tip, right? It's be careful what you put online about yourself.
Be careful what you put online. But actually, the good thing, I mean, look, there is a silver lining.
Yeah.
Okay, and the silver lining is you were talking about weird activities.
Yeah.
Guess what? You have companies in the US that are going to seek out video game players. And they are going to hire video game players.
Of course.
Because they made the connection that somehow, if you're really good at video games.
Yeah, it means you may have
competitive and you're technical and you're this and you're that and the other. And so therefore you're going to do well in this type of jobs.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is no different from Xerox in the 80s hiring ex-army personnel. Why?
Yeah, or companies that only want to have, that's a very good example, actually, ex-army.
Do you know why?
No, tell me. I mean, I have,
Very simple. But when you're in the army, you have a target.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have orders, and you follow the orders to get to the target. In sales, it's the same. You have a number, you have a target, you go and get the target. So Xerox and Canon and all these people hired ex-army veteran because they were really
they know
good.
They are structured properly.
They were really good at following until the sale. So really, there's nothing new. Now, what's new is we can do it better with more data.
Yeah.
So yes, we can find you someone that's a Python developer that maybe participated in the Olympics in 2008 in China. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but that's cool.
But that we can do it in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but on the contrary, I would say like some part of your professional life also is not on LinkedIn in some ways, because for me especially, like I am a generalist polymath, so I do a bit of everything. Yeah. And I can't put that thing on a CV or because people won't understand exactly what I do. Now, what we have also
what do you do?
Who are you?
I want to know now.
Exactly. So like building, even like knowing how to build things, building complete solutions requires you to know nitty-gritties of small things. So instead of knowing one thing supremely deeply, you need to know everything little so that you can piece things together. Yeah. Now that's what our aim is for job seekers, at least, so that when they are in a conversation, they are easily able to express themselves. They are completely able to express themselves freely. So you give out more information that you would have maybe put out on CV or maybe you've put out online. So that kind of makes a much more broader spectrum for the recruiters to analyze.
Which is positive as well. It means we are going to hire more and more personalities than just profiles, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. So, and on that, the data is that you can convey ideas 3 times better and faster using voice.
Yeah, that's very true.
Than using a medium like the written words.
Of course.
So in a 10 minutes, 20 minutes conversation, you can capture 20 times more data than you would on a 10-page CV. Yeah. And that data is the context that we want to give and that other in the industry want to give to employers so that they can make data-driven decisions. Yeah. Data-driven hiring decisions. Yeah. Not just based on a CV, but actually based on context and based on that data-rich kind of, interviewing transcripts.
I have thousands more questions, but it will be for another time.
Sure.
Just before we finish this one very, very short question. If I was a job seeker today, what will be the one advice? Because today, as a job seeker, we may not have too much control on the solutions that are being used by the recruiters, etc. So what's the best advice to be visible with all these AI systems right now? If you have any, because you may say today is a mess.
I mean, look,
because we are still in a bit of a middle. Some people use AI system, others don't, so it's a bit tricky.
It's really tricky because job seekers are in a catch-22 situations, and it's use AI and potentially get past the filters.
Yes.
Or don't use AI, but at the risk of being less authentic.
Yeah.
Or don't use AI and appear more authentic, but then you might not pass the AI filters because others that are using AI-generated CVs are going to get there. So it's really, really tough. But I would say actually that the advice I would give is the advice I would give even before AI. It's all about relationships.
Yeah.
So forget the AI, forget the systems. It's all about the people. And, don't be fearful of AI. Use AI if you must, for sure. But use AI in the right way. And the right way is how can AI multiply or augment relationship building? Can you reach out to more people? Can you help do more research maybe into some companies? And can you then do that in a better way than you're currently doing?
Yeah.
If you can do that, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do more research. Target the people.
Yeah,
reach
prepare
out
your
to
interviews
them,
well.
Prepare your interviews well.
Yep.
Prepare with AI.
And
all of that stuff.
And I would say keep your LinkedIn profile updated.
Yeah.
Because if you're not online now, everyone is using AI tools.
Yeah.
Be it they are using or not, at least someone can see your profile and know what you do.
Yeah, you can be found.
At least you can be found.
Not just in LinkedIn profile, by the way. I mean, we can.
Your online persona, I guess.
Yeah.
Your online post. I would say actually
just be visible, right?
Yeah.
Write a blog. Write a blog about your specific area of expertise. We can find people on Arxiv. Arxiv is a database for researchers.
Okay.
So if you're in AI or any research field, you have this completely free. It's like Google for researchers.
Yeah.
You can find any research papers. We can find people that have research, computer vision, algorithm, and we can go much beyond LinkedIn just to do that. So I would say, create a LinkedIn profile, keep it maintained, but also create an online presence that you want to display to the world so that people can find you more easily.
Yeah, and be less afraid of putting things out there, because if you don't put it out there, you're anyway going to get lost in the crowd. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for this talk. It was a very interesting discussion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.